Hey, we're going to get started here pretty soon. Looks like we have some people joining right now. We'll give it a few minutes. But I do want to make sure everybody can hear us. If you can hear us, can you just write that you can in the bottom right?
Looks like
Awesome. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Carla. Perfect. Just a couple seconds so we can get some more people in here. All right, I think we'll get started. We have quite a few people joining. That's awesome. So thanks to everyone involved for taking the time to meet with us today. We want to ensure that this isn't obviously a really boring, stale PowerPoint presentation, but we do encourage interaction questions throughout. Feel free to interrupt in that chat message box in the bottom right corner. So to start, my name is Kelly Gunderson. I am the lead client experience manager here at Celerity. I've been here a little over 6 years now. I started in recruiting, so I've been on that side, but now I'm more on the sales side, work with the hiring managers, some of you that are even on this webinar right now. Again, thanks for coming. And then Connor.
I have been at Celerity for about a year and a half now. Cannot believe it's already that fast, but I staffed in New York City for 4 years before that. And now I'm on the sales side, but in New York, I did both recruiting and sales. So a little bit about us. We began as a design studio in 1990 and have since flipped to a total talent solution. We've been around for over 25 years and we have combined over 60 years of recruiting experience. A lot of our extremely important team members aren't obviously shown on this, including ownership, HR, marketing, and our wonderful recruiters. Celerity provides executive direct hire recruiting, retained and contingent, staffing, both short-term and long-term contract to hire, freelance, studio work, so offsite local freelance teams for overflow production and project-based work. We've placed over 4,500 talented individuals at over 500 different Minnesota organizations, including Fortune 100 corps, small to large creative agencies, nonprofits, various industries such as med device, retail, e-commerce, hospitality, the list goes on and on.
And obviously something that I am very proud of, but everyone at Celerity is very proud of, is that we are a certified woman-owned business. So why are we here? Why is this a topic? I'd like to get some interaction with the audience right now. Why are you specifically interested in this topic? We'll give you a few seconds to go in the chat area there. Awesome. Yeah, so both Connor and I have experienced those same issues, same conversations with different hiring managers such as yourselves that are just really stressed out, overwhelmed. They're in desperation mode for more help on their teams.
I can't tell you how many times I've had managers come to me and then I've asked them, hey, when do you need this hire? And they've all said, yesterday, I need it at this very second.
and when asked if they can hire more people, the answer is usually just simply, no, we don't have the headcount. Moving on. But why? Why is it so tough to justify an increase in staff? There's a bunch of different reasons. It's not limited to the 5 that are on the screen in front of you, but costs are obviously a really important one to talk about. People are a large expense for companies. Eliminating employees increases equity for owners and decreases costs associated with benefits, salaries, equipment, training,
office supplies, tax burdens. I mean, there's so much that goes into hiring someone.
And then we can move into productivity. Companies sometimes downsize to increase productivity, which if you're thinking about it, it's pretty counterintuitive maybe, but some companies think they can increase individual worker output while keeping production very constant. And then a company might also downsize to increase productivity by replacing workers with machines, technology. It's not obviously just in the marketing field either, in every industry. Moving on to value. So downsizing generally signals restructuring, change, lots of movement within the company itself. If your shareholders or investors think these changes will increase profitability, it will most likely increase the value of company stock. So this can result in more investors coming on board. They're increasing their money contributions. In either case, Obviously, downsizing can increase the company's perceived value, which then in turn moves us into the like failed evaluation. So some of you or some of your managers fail to critically evaluate their needs and the type of help required.
And some of your managers may fail to do this because they simply just aren't in the day-to-day operations of things. They don't have their hands in the weeds for everything. So you need to tell them what's going on.
Yep. And outsourcing, some companies overextend the number or types of services that they offer, which leads to elimination of their products, their services, or outsourcing certain activities. That obviously leads to a decrease in employees as well.
So that's why you need more people. Now, how do you go about getting more headcount? First, you got to identify your needs. Then ask yourself things such as this. Do you need help during specific times of the year? Are you seeing a higher volume of work right now? Do you expect that volume of work to continue? Do you have specific gaps on your team? Do those gaps frequently change? Does the team morale seem low at the time? Is the quality of work on your team decreasing? Are you experiencing a higher turnover than normal? There's so many more questions, but if your answer is yes to any of these, it's time to identify the exact type of help you need. So be specific. Not being specific with your requests is a critical mistake to avoid. When you're asking yourself for an increase in staff, focus on this. What kinds of skills, knowledge do you seek? Is it industry experience, specific backgrounds?
That could include personalities, specific culture fits.
Exactly. Does your team have any particular skill gaps that are causing issues?
Whether that's like a certain software expertise or an overall project management process.
And consider the types of hires. How many people? What different types of resources do you need? Consider all the options.
So when considering your options, you may realize that you don't necessarily need a full-time hire. If you find that some of your needs are temporary, seasonal, or project-based, you can consider outsourcing options to a company like us, like Celerity. So not only do we provide direct hire services, we also provide freelancers, contractors, temporary staff, part-time hires. Once you actually know what type of needs you have, you can start building your case with data.
Now, collecting data. You want to collect the right data. That will help you frame your argument on why you need more staff. The best data you can collect on your own to help you make your case include things that will show trends, different impacts on goals a company is trying to achieve, indisputable facts that highlight a need for action, how the business has been impacted negatively, and then some examples of the data that you can collect to showcase trends. Some may currently be tracked by your team and some may not, but some examples are an increase in the number of projects being assigned to the team, but with the same number of resources or less assigned to complete the tasks, working hours of current staff, which show everyone is consistently working extended hours. In fact, you can use data like this to calculate a specific deficit in your needs. For example, if you track 6 months of your employees' hours, it could show a 2-head deficit relative to capacity. Ask salary employees to track their hours, via a spreadsheet. Overall decrease in employee satisfaction. You could check work quality. Is the customer service suffering? So many things to consider.
And additionally, you can consider creating maybe even a headcount or salary planning strategy. A headcount planning strategy, if you've never done it before, it's a process designed to ensure your company has like the right number of people with the right skills and that they're in the right role specifically. A topic entirely on its own, but it's very useful as you collect the data to prove that you need more staff and or if they're underpaid. We'll share some of these resources on this topic in a follow-up email or in a meeting or a phone call with you individually. So how does this data impact your team and company? So there can be serious consequences from not hiring if the current state of a team is suffering. So some of these consequences include things like increased attrition, turnover, decrease in qualified marketing and sales leads, which obviously turns into a decrease in your sales revenue.
Don't want that.
Obviously missed growth opportunities internally with your teams, competitive disadvantages. There are other enormous impacts on the overall goals of the company that the list can go on and on. And then, so just keep these in mind while you're thinking about your current versus your future state. So compare the current state which I'm assuming if you're here, it's because you're overwhelmed, you're not having a good time, you hate everything, versus what you want it to be. So to the future desired state, focus on the impact. When you outline your plan, make sure you include how these things positively impact your customers, your employees, your business overall.
So what can that positive impact be when you hire more headcount? Impact on the customers. Our research reveals that 80% of customers say the experience a company provides is as important as its products and services, and 76% say it's easier than ever to take your business elsewhere.
Don't let that happen.
And the impact on employees. If everyone is consistently putting out fires and trying to keep up with your workload, there's very little time, if any at all, for professional development or team building activities.
Right. I mean, Celerity, for example, we do a ton of team building activities. So we obviously do happy hours. We are doing a cooking class tonight, which I'm really excited about. We've done Top Golf, bowling, everything you can think of.
We do a lot of fun stuff. 87% of millennials and 69% of non-millennials rate professional or career growth and development opportunities as important to them in a job. Additionally, 51% of these employees say they would switch to a job that allows them flex time, and 37% would switch to a job that allows them to work off-site at least part of the time. Employees who feel they have a better work-life balance tend to work 21% harder than those that don't. So it's a lot of benefits to hiring. Now, how does it impact the business? Will there be a positive impact on increased sales revenue? Will there be increased employee retention? Will there be a focus on generating quality sales and marketing leads?
Overall, it's going to be a positive impact on your business that equals ROI. That's going to be what your manager wants to see. So when and where to justify headcount? This might seem pretty simple and self-explanatory, but when and where you bring up adding more headcount to your team is absolutely crucial and wildly depends on your company and situation. So pay attention to timing. Obviously, plead your case when your company has the money or when you can identify where to save that alternative money. When your team recently had huge accomplishments, basically when your boss is in a good mood.
Which is hopefully more often than not.
Is this during budget planning, beginning or end of your fiscal year? Be smart about it and base it on your own company structure. Everybody's a little different. It's obviously also best to schedule one-on-one in person with the decision makers. So avoid getting ignored, shot down by email, phone, if they're too busy, that kind of thing.
And definitely when you ask for that meeting, make sure to just emphasize how important it is to you and your team. Don't forget to emphasize that.
So bringing it all together, Connor and I clearly talk really fast. But there are a few mistakes you'll want to avoid as you think about this presentation to your boss. So you need to have made every attempt basically to max out what you currently have. How are you currently running your team? Doing so not only shows you're creative with how you run your team, but also that you can be trusted to put added staff to good use, obviously. You need staff, okay, so what are you looking for specifically? Kind of ran through those examples. So your answer should focus on skill sets, experience, what background should the added staff really actually have. And if you are unable to explain or show data on what has changed or why your current staff is now insufficient, you're completely on your own. Like there's no way they're going to listen. So find a way to present some sort of before and after comparison.
Yeah, exactly. And being able to clearly articulate what's changed not only shows you're prepared and have thought it over, but it also shows you are in tune with what's going on in your organization and you know when things are off.
So a lot of Parks and Rec gifts here. So hopefully we just solved all your problems and you all now have the ammo to increase your headcount. We really want to be able to help you with more of this topic. So definitely reach out to us if you have any questions. How can we really make your life easier today?
Yeah, please feel free to ask questions in that little question box on the side. And if you can't think of anything now, we're also more than happy, both Kelly and myself, to connect with you via phone or email, whatever's easiest for you afterwards too. Also, everyone here will get an automated message right after this that shows you it'll give you a recording of this. So if you missed anything, and like Kelly said, we know we can talk pretty fast sometimes. So if you missed anything, we went a little fast, you'll have it available to you shortly after this.
Yeah, and we're actually really more than happy to help you with these cases. Like if you want to build a case and you're not sure if it's going to go well with your boss, just let us know, and we're more than happy to be a consultant and expert on that level.
Yeah, here to help in any way we can.
Let's see if we have some questions. So do you have examples of common objections, the actual words, what to say to overcome them? Well, that's a really good question, Drew. So I think if you have this plan set up, your plan and strategy should be to overcome the objections before they're actually even asked. So I can actually compile a list of some things and common like actual words or what to say to overcome them specifically, and I can send those to you as well. Any other questions? I think we're good. Thanks for everybody that joined. We'll follow up, like Connor said, and have a wonderful Friday.
Awesome. Enjoy the weekend, everyone.